Hello! I just thought I'd do a video of me making my cheese and asparagus tarts. Really yummy, and I had all the ingredients in to make them, so I was like, I'm cooking these today because they're delicious. You're going to need a knob of butter. Now when I'm cooking like this, I haven't weighed any of these ingredients, you know. I weigh stuff if I'm baking, but when it comes to cooking like this, just do it by eye, get a feel for it, and yeah, it will all come together. So a good knob of butter there. Some asparagus. I've kept some of the spears tops just like that. The rest of the stalk I've cut down into these little pieces. I want some finely chopped garlic and a red onion, quite a small one, or just use half of one, and some chunks of applewood smoked cheddar. You also want a bit of the applewood grated as well to go on top. And you'll need some filo pastry. If you get a pack of this, it's sort of in a rectangle sheet, so you just cut it down to squares. I mean, they're sort of rectangles, depends on what size it is, but cut it down so yeah, they're in little pieces like that. You're going to want some melted butter and a pastry brush like this. Some plain flour and some milk. This is goat milk because that's just the milk I like. You just use whatever milk you like. And the same, if you can't have wheat, you can use corn flour in this. So just substitute that out. Now you're also going to need a muffin tin like this. And once you've melted your butter, you're going to need to just grease each one of these and make sure you do it thoroughly, because you don't want your tarts sticking in the pan. So the first thing to get on is your cheese sauce. So we're just going to get this knob of butter melting. Now this sauce was one of the first things that my mum taught me to cook, and it's just been an absolutely invaluable recipe to just have in my head, because you can make this into a cheese sauce by adding cheese and milk, or if you wanted to make it a white sauce for fish, you use the first sort of basic steps, but instead of using milk you can put in white wine and some parsley, or you can also use stock as well instead of milk, and you've just got the base here for an incredible amount of sauces. This is called it's called a roux. That's the sauce base, and yeah, it's just really fantastic, and just such a great recipe to have in your mind, because then if you literally need a sauce for anything, you can make it, which is fantastic. And yeah, I'm so pleased my mum taught me how to make this. I've just used it so much, so I definitely thought it was worth sharing with you. Now you just want to warm your knob of butter slowly, just so it all melts before you don't want it burning, so just sort of gently warm that. And then once once most of it's melted, you want to add in the onion and the garlic. Ooh, watch out for runaway asparagus there. And you just want to cook these onions and garlic down until they've softened in the butter. While the onions are softening, I'm going to prepare the phyllo sheets. Now what you're going to need to do for each phyllo sheet is to just brush them with the melted butter. And pop it in. And you just do this with each phyllo sheet, and it just makes really nice crisp crisp pastry. And you just layer them into your tin. It does take a minute to do this, so just yeah, just take your time and keep making up your layers. You want about 3 to 4 phyllo pastry sheets in each one. They are very thin, so just keep doing your layers. And you want it so that it's like that. So I've got 4 layers of the pastry there, and it's got a nice little well for the pie filling to go in, or the tart filling. Perhaps they're more tarts, and they just look quite pretty because they've got all the little jaggedy edges pointing up. So I'm just going to get on and finish filling the tray, and then continue to let my onions and garlic soften there. Right, I've got all my phyllo cases done now. As you can see how I've lined them, they've got like 4 or 5 layers of the phyllo pastry in them. And you want to, when you're working with phyllo pastry, you do want to be sort of quick with it. If you do need to leave it, just put like a damp tea towel over the top, just because the pastry can dry out. So make sure you sort of just get your cases done quick, and make sure you just put plenty of butter in between each layer, and that will ensure you've just got a really lovely crisp case once they're cooked. Now as we're close to getting ready to fill them now, I'm just going to get the oven preheated. So you want that on 180. Just going to move these out of the way while we do the other bits. So once your onions and garlic have softened, then you want to pop in your slices of asparagus. Just give those a good warm through. And then once your asparagus has warmed through a little bit, then you want to add the flour. You're just going to want just a spoon of this. Again, like I said, I don't weigh anything. My mum never taught me when she was teaching me to cook to weigh anything. We weighed stuff when we were baking, but when we were preparing dinners and stuff, it's just we didn't do it because she just did it all by eye. So it was just how I learned to cook. So I know, depending on how big my knob of butter is, how much flour I need. So I'm going to put in a good heaped spoonful, maybe just a little bit more. Obviously, if you're a little uncertain, just put in a little, and you can always add more. And then you want to quickly stir that around in the butter. And that just coats the vegetables that are in there. And I'll just sort of show you what that looks like. So it's just like that. You can see the flour has soaked up the butter there. And then once it's at that stage, you start adding your milk or whatever liquid it is that you want to use. Now you do this a little tiny bit at a time. You don't want to put it all in at once. You do it slowly, and then it just means that you don't end up with a lumpy cheese sauce. So you put in a little bit and you keep stirring it really well. And then once the flour has soaked up that splash of milk, you add another one. And you keep just adding little splashes of milk until you've got the consistency that you're after. Now as you can see, it's already changing a bit there. And it's really crucial at this stage that you don't walk away from this pan. If you need to, just switch it all off, because otherwise you'll have a big sticky mess. And it will also go lumpy as well, so just keep at your pan for this bit. And just keep giving it a really thorough stir after each addition of milk. So you can see the more milk we're adding, the more that it's coming together as a sauce. And as you're heating this and mixing this, the flour is thickening the sauce as well. So you can see we're really coming on with our sauce now. And I add another bit of milk, another splash, and then we'll see how we're getting on, see if we need any more after that. Now you can always as well vary the consistency of this sauce. You know, if you want a runnier sauce, you add more liquid. If you want a thicker sauce, you add less. So because these are going in into tarts, I'm not going to do it too runny. I'm going to keep it as quite a thick sauce, so then it will sort of, once it's cooked in the oven, it will be more of like a set cheese sauce than a runny one. So I'm not going to add any more liquid now. I'm going to keep it as it's gone nice and runny now. But that's going to thicken up a bit more while it heats on the hob here. And again, just keep mixing, don't stop mixing. And then you want to add in your chunks of applewood cheddar. And you just stir that in, and that's gradually going to melt. And again, just keep mixing. While you're just mixing in your cheese and waiting for that to melt, it's a really good time to add a bit of seasoning. So you just put in salt and pepper. Again, just to your preference, however you like it. I love my black pepper, so lots going in. And you just give that a really good stir. And as you can see, that's come together as just a really lovely cheese sauce. It's probably time to give it a little try. Oh, that is good. Cheese sauce is the best. Well, I think that's done, so I'm going to get these into the tart cases. And then we can get our tarts into the oven. Now for this bit, you just want to spoon your cheese sauce into your tart cases. Now I always put a good couple of spoonfuls into each one, and then depending on how much cheese sauce is left, then we can always go and top up some if they need it. Oh, the cheese sauce is so good. Right, so once you've got your tart cases filled up, then you can put your asparagus spears on the top in the centre. Now I'm not going to have enough asparagus spears to do all of my tarts, but we're doing some. It just makes them look extra pretty. And then you just take a bit of your grated cheese and just pop it on top. I always tend to grate more cheese than I need because I usually end up eating a little bit while I'm cooking. So it's a good tip there. Just grate a little extra. So there we go, there's our smoked applewood cheese and asparagus tarts ready to go in the oven, and they're looking good now, so I've got high hopes for them when they come out. I'm going to check those in 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, and see how they're getting on then. Right, it's nearly been 20 minutes since I put the tarts in, so I'm going to get them out and see how we're looking. Look at these, don't they look stunning? They smell absolutely amazing. I wish you could smell this as well as look at it. You can see the cheese sauce is just bubbling away there, so I'm going to let these cool down rather a lot before I even try and get them out of there. Right, the tarts have cooled down a little bit now, so they're all right for me to handle and get them out of the tray. Now, as you see, they should just be able to come out really easily like that. If you've greased the tin well, you should have no problem. And as you can see, they've got lovely cooked bottoms, not a soggy bottom in sight. And you just carefully bring them out, because this pastry is very fragile, so just sort of, yeah, do it gently. And these are just great for a snack. They're great if you're doing having a party and you want a bit of fancy party food. Or great as a starter, or as a main. Do it with a little salad, and yeah, it's a lovely little meal. Now, obviously, if you serve them warm, the cheese sauce is going to be a bit runnier. If you wait until they've cooled, then you'll have more of like a set cheese sauce. There we go. Smoked cheddar and asparagus tarts. Highly recommend giving them a go, because they are really wonderful. Thanks for watching.